Okay, so is the level good? Welcome to Saturday afternoon football in Ryde Council. Okay, just let me know when I can go. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us at the live tab on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. We've got NPL Women's New South Wales action to brighten up your Saturday afternoon. And the weather is looking bright here at Macquarie Park for Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Blacktown Spartans. Eric Subihano with the commentary for this afternoon's game. And I'm looking forward to this because there's so much young talent on both sides. It's become the trademark of NPL Women's New South Wales in recent years, and we should be set for another great game in this round 15 of the 2024 season. Well, for Northwest Sydney Spirit, coached by Tony Candy, well, as it relates to Mr. Candy, good things come to coaches who wait, because after not winning any of their first 6 games, Northwest Sydney Spirit have found some excellent form, winning 3 of their last 4. They're in 9th place as we head into this game, but only 6 points off a final spot, a top 4 final spot, and there's plenty of time left for Spirit to make it 2 finals appearances in a row in NPL Women's. While for Blacktown Spartans, it's been tough in recent times, but this young and very energetic squad can trouble any team in this competition on their day, as they showed a couple of months ago when they defeated defending champions MacArthur Ramps at MacArthur's home ground, Linwood Park. So there's certainly no guarantees in this fixture. We've got the referee, Mia Velarde, doing the final pre-match formalities with the 2 captains. I believe that's Erin Pridmore for Spirit, and I think Charlotte Wilford-Carroll, the Kiwi, has been given captaincy honours for the Spartans this afternoon. Also, shout out to Mia's assistants, Ellen McGarity and Madeline Sawyer. The 3 of them, as is custom in the NPL women's competition, backed up for the reserves game, the women's reserves game, played at 12:30 p.m, which Spartans won by 2-1. And now the 3rd team are all set for the 3 p.m. kickoff. Now let's run you through the 2 lineups. By the way, if perhaps you're less familiar with these 2 teams, traditional colours for both. Spirit using the colours back when they were known as koalas, with the gold jerseys, the black shorts, and the gold socks. While for Spartans, it's those very orange jerseys with black shorts and orange socks. So, for the home team, Northwest Sydney Spirit, in goal, number 41, Katie Offer. Then the captain, number 3, Erin Pridmore. Number 7, Kaya Buchanan. Number 8, Talia Yunus. Number 10, Sarah Morgan. Number 11, Ella Abdul-Masi. Number 13, Morgan Roberts. Number 15, Savannah Murray. Number 16, Kayla Osborne. Number 17, Ella Buchanan. And number 18, Natalie Kasher. Right on cue, there's the whistle from Mia Velarde, one of the Northern Beaches' finest referees. Away we go. Spartans in the orange jerseys, going from left to right as we see things here in the Macquarie Park at the scaffold here at the venue lovingly known as the Arctic Circle. And we don't call it the Arctic Circle for no reason, because this venue does get very cold. Well, it gets cold in summer, to be honest, but it gets even colder in winter, as there's Alfaraje with an early run down the flank. Alfaraje, a mid-season signing after making the switch from Bankstown City. Early throw coming up from Charlotte Owen. Now, this could be interesting. To the byline, Pridmore blocks the way to goal. Goal kick. The flag's up from Ella McGarity, assistant nearest to us. And so here's the Spartan starting lineup. So in goal for them, number 1, Anna Norton. Then number 3, Charlotte Owen. Number 5, Isabel Wilson. Number 9, Rukaya Alfaraje. Number 12, the captain, Charlotte Wilford-Carroll. Number 14, Indiana Dos Santos. Number 16, Alyssa Wynnum. Number 17, Brittany Duggan. Number 26, Diana Corona. Number 27, the Spartans' top scorer, Alyssa Ungsad, 7 for the season. And number 33, Janea Dos Santos. So with the conclusion of the A-League women's season, we can see that teams have pretty much all across this competition have been able to strengthen. The window has opened so that A-League women's players can register with their NPL teams. So we've got the Dos Santos sisters, Alyssa Wynnum doing so for the Spartans. We've also got Sarah Morgan, Ella Abdulmasi doing likewise for Spirit. And I suppose we'll count Ella Buchanan in that, although Ella Buchanan, who had a strong end to the season, the A-League women's season with Western Sydney Wanderers, including scoring her first goal in the National League. Ella Buchanan was a kind of a late signing for the A-League women's season, as Corona looks to cover that attack. But Anna Norton picks up the ball, but yes, going back to Ella Buchanan, she was one of those late signings that you tend to see in A-League women to cover the last few rounds. And as a measure of how late it was, I actually did notice that Ella Buchanan has been involved in some promo shoots, as it flicks off, said Ella. And that's done in January or February, so that is an indication, if she was available for the promo shoot, just how late that Wanderers contract offer was. As for the two sets of substitutes, for Spirit, the backup keeper is Matilda Gilbert. The others, who may come on later if Tony Candy chooses to do so, they're Madeline Wright, Erin Tavares, Claire Holder, Nikita Fatsari, and Ruby Sullivan. For the Spartans, the backup keeper is Michaela Kent. The others available, Hope Klur, Kidwala Mkali, Angelique Lynch, Michaela Ratos, and Despina Vasiliadis. Here's Pridmore. Now Murray dispossessed by Alfaraje. And the cross in, Kaya Buchanan with the foot in, Kasha half clearance. Kent Spartans put the pressure on though, and well, if you heard that whistle, that was on field 2 behind us. Always busy here at the Arctic Circle. To me, that looks like what's behind us is an Association Youth League Under-18 game between Northwest Sydney FA and Manly Warringah FA. Yes, I have some very specific knowledge sometimes. Almost like I work for one of the two associations. Anyway, corner coming up, and Alyssa Ingsard will take. They go short. Here's Wynnum. Broken up by Osborne. And by the way, just to balance out the shout-outs, Spartans are coached by Nacho Alcaraz, his first season as the women's first grade head coach for the Spartans. I'm liking this time slot that Spirit have made their own in recent times. This is the second season where the Spirit women's team have had, for the majority of the season, Saturday 3 p.m. kickoffs. Offers something different. It's like a standalone game. And especially as we get into the colder months, it's not quite as cold for the players and spectators. There's actually a decent crowd here today, which is good to see. Ella Buchanan should be getting to that ahead of Janea Dos Santos. Goes down the line for Roberts. So this is, by the way, the first part of a Spirit women's and men's doubleheader. The men's game on this patch of synthetic turf is at 5:30 p.m. That's between Spirit and Marconi Stallions. Will Gotsis will be on the commentary for you here, as Murray can't keep that in play. And Spirit making this decision, I think there's a number of factors, but they do share this venue with Gladesville Ravens, who were promoted from League One Women's at the end of the 2022 season, and Spirit women playing on Sunday does open it up for Gladesville Ravens to use this field on Sunday during the season, well, for the majority of their home fixtures anyway. Swung in by Owen, Kai Buchanan heads, and it goes behind. First corner of the afternoon coming up. And you'd say it's cool here, but still relatively comfortable, especially considering that we're in June. Nice breeze running through the ground. Well, I say the breeze is nice now. If that continues through to the men's game, that breeze will be anything but nice. Alfaraje with the low corner. Sent up and away, I think by Eunice. Now Kayla Osborne, chased by Wynnum. Header, I think, from Owen. And Wynnum, nice 1-2. If you're familiar with Alyssa Wyndham's CV, I'll hold that thought as Alfaraja chases. Doesn't keep it in, but if you're familiar with Alyssa Wyndham's CV, well, she's playing against a team in black and gold for a change. Wyndham rising to prominence over the last 2 A-League women's seasons. Not bad, last 3 A-League women's seasons actually, with Wellington Phoenix. And now, as a number of Kiwis have done in recent years, and dozens of players based from outside the Greater Sydney area, she's decided that the best step for the next phase of her footballing career is in NPL Women's New South Wales, and we're certainly glad to have players of Alyssa Wyndham's talent in this competition. I think it's Janaea Dos Santos. Exchange of passes, but there's 2 of the 3 Buchanan sisters shepherding that out. Shout out to Tamsin Buchanan, who also plays for the Spirit women's team. And goal kick coming up. Spartans technical area, encouraging the high press. Spartans looking to impose themselves. They're in 13th as we head into this round. Of course, nobody likes being at the bottom of either the first grade table or the club championship. So Spartans not lacking motivation at all as they look to climb both competitions. It's a good pocket of space picked up by Kayla Osborne. And the through ball to Morgan Roberts, which I'm sure we'll see plenty of from Spirit this afternoon. It was cleaned up by the Spartans defense. Kasha. Not much space, although Morgan wants to be the out ball, and that's where it goes. Sarah Morgan. Incredibly, a lot of experience, Sarah Morgan. For someone who I think from memory is 23. And Morgan's coming off an A-League women's campaign with Adelaide United and earning that contract in the City of Churches based on her performances for Spirit. She was excellent in Spirit's midfield last year. And I'm sure we'll see the same again. As here's the set piece coming up. Mia Velarde telling Rukaya Alfaraja exactly where she can stand. Now, will it be the in-swinger from the right-footed Abdul Masi or the outswinger from Morgan? Or something different? It's Morgan. It's into a great area, and the touch is, well, there's no touch. So that's actually credit to that Spartans defender, well left in the end. So, goal kick. In this round 15 of NPL Women's, there's 5 games tomorrow. And I'll be on the mic from the very cold and somehow always wet North Taramara Recreation Area to call a big game between Northern Tigers and Sydney Olympic. There's also a game on the public holiday Monday as well. 5:15 p.m. from Sir Ian McLennan Oval down on the south coast. Illawarra Stingrays hosting Manly United. And I'll give a shout out to the other 4 games on Sunday when I get a bit of a chance. Janaea Dos Santos. Uses her speed, but she might like a little bit more support. Although Dos Santos, sometimes, if she's in the mood, not the kind of player who needs that much support to cause damage. Carroll finding Owen. Another attacking raid in the early moments from the Spartans right back. Then Pridmore gets it away. 10 minutes played here at the Arctic Circle. 0-0 in NPL Women's New South Wales between Northwest Sydney Spirit and Blacktown Spartans. Thanks for joining us. There's Murray in her first season with Spirit after impressing in League One Women's last year with Central Coast Mariners. Helped them reach the semi-finals of League One Women's last year. Murray with another throw-in to Eunice. Back to Murray. And Morgan broken up by Wynnum to Alfaraje. If you like fast wingers, this might be the game for you. And Alfaraje working one-on-one against Pridmore. And in the end, it's the second defender, Morgan, who breaks it up. Morgan again. Pocketed. Good pocket of space by Eunice and room to run for Kayla Osborne as well. Ella Buchanan's already charging forward. Here's Roberts. Does she wait for Ella Buchanan? Instead, she opts centrally. Wynnum with more defensive play. Here's Pridmore for Roberts, two of Spirit's most experienced campaigners. And Roberts, that whistle, again, that's going to be confusing. My apologies. So I was wondering why there would be a whistle in that situation. Yeah, it was in the Association Youth League field behind us. Anyway, shout out to Dean, who's actually in attendance here at the Arctic Circle. And has also sent me a reminder, there are only two temperatures at this venue. It's cold or it's about to get cold. Yep, I know that very well. As someone who has had to wear a puffer jacket here for NPL trial games paid in the summer, yep, I am well aware of this. Of course, Dean is from New Zealand, so he probably thinks this is warm. Abdul Masi, as Owen stepping in, going direct towards Janea Dos Santos. It's cleared. Now Carroll, the Spartans captain for today. And by the way, shout out to the usual Spartans women's first grade captain for this season, Chantel Maniti, the Philippines international. But unfortunately, and this absolutely breaks my heart, she is suspended after a red card last week. The stars not aligning because, I mean, we've got the Filipino Dream Team in the scaffold here with me on the commentary and Chester on the camera, but alas, not to be. We were not. The footballing gods not letting us cover a third Filipino on the field. I'm very sorry about that. More than you can imagine. Now, a couple of players didn't know where it was going to land, so it fell for Abdul Masi instead. Osborne using her body well, but didn't keep it in play. I think that's Nacho Alcaraz telling his players to calm things down. It's been a positive start, you'd have to say, given league positions and respective form for Spartans. Anna Norton hasn't had to make a save as of yet. 14 minutes in. So Owen delivering from deep. There's the header. May break for Alyssa Ingsard. Spartans top scorer, by the way, with 7 for the season. Averaging a goal every 2 games so far, which is generally the mark of a good attacking threat. Now, Osborne, she's everywhere at the moment. Was on the left side a moment ago. Now she's on the right side, looking for the cutback. And again, the touch does not favor Spirit, so that is a goal kick. The wind has gotten stronger, and that's more in keeping with this venue's reputation. That is quite a cold wind. I'm going to need to put more layers on. Anyway, a quarter of an hour played here in Macquarie Park. If you've just joined us, I hope you're enjoying our coverage of NPL Women's. I hope it's making your Saturday afternoon that little bit better. Look over the shoulder from Alfaraje. Murray followed it all the way, then a little bit of a mix-up with Morgan allowed Alfaraje to take over. She's going to fly down the wing again. Decent cross, and then drifts over the goal line. So, Alfaraje being very positive in the opening quarter of an hour. Couldn't quite wrap her foot around that one. And now she's defending from the front. So Morgan's under quite a bit of pressure, surrounded by orange for the time being. Murray with a longer ball. Abdul Masi. And I see that's a great turn, but Wynnum with more good defending. She defends as well as she attacks. And then Morgan, quick feet, but going backwards. Morgan deciding to settle things. And then Murray gets Offer involved. Kai Buchanan to her sister Ella. Roberts takes a tumble, and Mia Velarde ruling that that's a bit too physical, so free kick. Good defending there from Charlotte Owen. Stopping the run of Abdul Masi, working it back to the keeper. So the visitors can start again, but now Abdul Masi got a foot in the way of that crossfield ball. I suppose technically that's a shot, but nothing that will test Anna Norton. Especially Anna Norton, a keeper who has in the past received a call up to a young Matilda's training camp. Maybe I'll just, as I think about it, I might just go slowly through the other games this round because, you know, action-packed as always in NPL Women's New South Wales, the competition that always seems to have its fair share of late drama. So 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. What a game this is, first versus third, and it's the first women's competitive game back at Lambert Park. RPL Leichhardt, the league leaders, hosting Gladesville Ravens, looking for a small measure of revenge after Gladesville Ravens came back from 2-0 down against Apia in round 2 here at the Arctic Circle. Saves came back from 2-0 down to win 3-2 did Ravens. Morgan going direct for goal, and then header from Owen. Who does it break for? Osborne? And then Alfaraje rides the challenge from Abdul Masi, and Alfaraje is going to hold down R2 and then play triangle. Good run from Janeo dos Santos. Cross blocked by Pridmore. Positioning is, you'd say, 3/4 of the battle for a central defender, and Pridmore was positioned excellently. Now Whittam. Janeo dos Santos doesn't make it stick. Eunice able to turn. Another run from Osborne. She's appearing on the left flank, on the right flank, everywhere. Very energetic opening phase of the game from Kayla Osborne, a youngster. I think she's still a teenager from memory, from what I've been told by people at Spirit in the past. Now, Ella Buchanan finding Eunice. And it's scooped up, but not the contact Roberts wanted. Norton settles for the goal kick. Header from Morgan. So that's played forward by the Spartans. And given all the bad weather I've experienced in my years covering the New South Wales State comps and being at this venue, it's good to see a shadow, because a shadow means that the sun's out. Free kick there. I think that was foul conceded by Wilson. Kai Buchanan, good ball, and the header, I think from Abdul Masi. Now, well, Spirit keep it alive. And there's a chance for Osborne. Flag's up. The flag is up. Assistant on the far side. Madeline Sawyer. Yeah, I almost forgot her name. I'm sorry, Madeline. Madeline Sawyer signaling that off the header from Abdul Masi, Morgan Roberts had started a run just a little bit too early. Now Roberts, and the foot in there from Wilson. It's generally the way to defend against someone as fast as Morgan Roberts. One of the fastest players in the competition. Very, very difficult to stop once she's been allowed to turn and run at you. So Wilson just decided the best option, don't let her turn at all. Generally a good way to operate for any defender. Brittany Duggan sends it forward. And then Kai Buchanan finding her central defensive partner for today, Erin Pridmore. The 1-2, nice 1-2. Murray playing it off Morgan. Osborne, look over the shoulder. And Whittam wins it from the other number 16, but Osborne wins it straight back. Through ball might be on here for Eunice. It's just out of reach. It'll go back. Alyssa Whittam with a foul on Osborne. That's an interesting battle. And we'll keep an eye on how that develops over the course of the game. This time Abdelmasi leaves the dead ball responsibilities to Morgan. Good ball again, and there's a header from Murray. It loops, but not over Anna Norton. Into her gloves it goes. I think Norton didn't like her options in terms of quick distribution to start a counter-attack. Numbers not really favouring Janea Dos Santos, who was the player left furthest forward from that set piece. Indiana Dos Santos now. Pairs of sisters on both sides. For those of you who like that sort of thing. Also, from memory, there's more than 2 Dos Santos sisters as well. Dos Santoses. As that should be Katie Offers. So, with Indiana and Janea helping Sydney FC win the A-League Women's Championship over the summer, who knows, maybe one day they'll be joined by a third Dos Santos. Apologies, I've forgotten the name of the younger one. But good run from Eunice, trying to get away from Duggan, into the box, and Eunice might get a second opportunity, and that's a penalty. Eunice too quick for the defence. Spirit will have a shot from 12 yards. And Eunice wants the ball. Anna Norton completely uninterested in giving it to her. She gives it to the ref instead. So, Talia Eunice scored twice this season since finishing up her A-League women duties with the Wanderers. Here's the shot from 12 yards as Mia Velarde reminds the players not to encroach. Eunice up against Norton coming up. Off frame, Erin Pridmore getting instructions from Tony Candy. And now, here we go. It's Talia Eunice. And it's saved brilliantly from Anna Norton. She read the body language, threw herself to her left, and keeps the scores at 0-0. Wonderful penalty save. And Wynnum trying to take things the other way now. There's a decent number of gold jerseys back. So she finds Ngsad overlapping down the left. Then Sarah Morgan. Good positioning there. You say there's always an element of luck involved in a keeper saving a penalty, but that's not to take anything away from Anna Norton. As Indiana Dos Santos from range. Might break for Janea Dos Santos. Off the save, so keepers involved at both ends in quick succession. Indiana inadvertently setting it up for her older sister. Wait, yeah, Janea's the older one. A shot that wasn't that well hit, to be fair, but Janea reacted quickly to bring it down. Had a shot from much closer in. Off a save with the legs. Yes. Good to see the legend behind College Matildas. Lockie is tuning in. He's referring to if there's 3 Dos Santos sisters, wouldn't that be Tres Santos? And obviously, if you don't know how to count to 3 in Spanish, well, I'm sorry, that one's lost on you. There's only so much I can do. Roberts won't keep that in play. Now, with the man behind College Matildas, now that I know he's watching, just wondering if Sarah Morgan has been in college at some point, but actually, this is a very young game that we have today, so a lot of these players are actually not old enough to go to college yet. But so talented as Morgan wins the free kick over. Morgan wins the free kick against Al-Faraji. More shout-outs. As long-time women's football reporter Justin Davies has said, actually hold that thought because Pridmore drops it over the top for Roberts to the byline. And Roberts, it's Duggan. who'd found the right position inside the 6-yard box. So here's Osborne, back to Ella Buchanan. And Buchanan, let's see if Ingsad's okay, because that is unfortunate, yeah. We need to take a break. Got to take any suspected head injury with the utmost seriousness. Alyssa Ingsad has copped a ball straight to the face, so yeah. Well, let's just take a little bit of a breather while we do the necessary checks. While that happens, more shout-outs to games coming up. What haven't I mentioned yet? 4:45 p.m. tomorrow from the grass field at Blacktown Sports Park. Football New South Wales Institute versus Bulls FC Academy. So there was a game meant to be played on the grass field at Blacktown Sports Park on Thursday night. I was meant to call it, Chester was meant to film it, but a late washout, which I think, given the traffic that field has faced this year, has had this year, is probably fair enough. Because it's going to need to host a lot more games before the season's done. And anyway, at least we'll see football at VSP on Sunday. Now, the Spartans down to 10 players while they continue the checks, but it looks like everything's okay. And now Janeo Dos Santos, very outnumbered. Little spin. And then Ingsad back on the field. So, yep, that's good to see. Can't be too careful with head injuries. So, good to see all the checks have been done. As I was about to say, courtesy of longtime Football New South Wales women's reporter Justin Davies, my commentary is more shout-outs than an Academy Awards acceptance speech. Long-range shot, which Katie Offer knows is going wide. So, especially pertinent here with a couple of Kiwis playing for the Spartans. Yeah, shout-out to Ben Bromley, big fan of the Spirit women's team, watching from New Zealand. Of course, that's the great thing about YouTube streaming. Don't have to be in Australia to watch it. So Ben Bromley being from New Zealand, it's almost mandatory, as Mia Velarde is... Oh, Mia Velarde is just going to have to tell Sarah Morgan to cool it a little bit. Just judging from it, I think... So I'm trying to think what the rule is with regards to quick free kicks, because you can either take a quick free kick or you can ask for the 10 yards to be enforced. Not both, as that spins out of play. And Dan Ullman, the legendary NPL women's photographer beneath us, thought he might have to protect his very, very, very expensive equipment, but luckily the ball didn't hit Dan or the equipment. Shout out to Dan. He's recently come back from a holiday where, among other things, he watched the Monaco Formula One Grand Prix. I have rarely been as jealous of someone as I am of Dan, as I was of Dan when I saw that on my own social media feeds. Good luck to him. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I mean, I'm a simple man. I'd be happy to go down to Wakefield Park and watch something. Yeah. Roberts. It drifted into some interesting space just on the edge of the box, but then it breaks down, that Spirit attack. If you've just joined us, now that we're past the half-hour mark, Eric Subihana here with a commentary from the scaffold here at the Arctic Circle. Quick feed from Alyssa Wynnum, trademark quick feed. And Wynnum gets the ball again. But yes, 0-0 between Spirit and Spartans in round 15 NPL Women's New South Wales action. The biggest moment so far, Anna Norton, the Spartans keeper, saving a spot kick from Talia Eunice. The scores are still 0-0. As Buchanan turns, finds Roberts, who's now thinking about how to beat this high and very energetic Spartans press. A little bit too energetic that time, according to Mia Velarde. And going back to Ben Bromley, as I extend this young man shout out, he's from New Zealand, so obviously it would be mandatory that Ben is a fan of Arpia forward Charlotte Lancaster, who I like to call the Kiwi Katie McCabe. That's one of my favorite nicknames for Charlotte's talent for scoring long-range left-footed bombs, just like the Ireland and Arsenal superstar. And you'll be able to see players like Charlotte Lancaster and other players like the defending Golden Boot and the defending Player of the Year, Ashley Crofts, in action tomorrow when Apia play Ravens. But here's a chance. Two strong hands. Who does it fall for? I think it was Indiana Dos Santos who was denied by Katie Offer. Alfaraje got the better of Roberts and got the better of Abdulmasi as well. Charlotte Owen. Indiana Dos Santos, it'll work out. Well, it almost worked out. But Pridmore was brave there. And then that will be a Spartans set piece. I'm just trying to think who the other Kiwis are. Dina Ben will tell me at some point. There's Nikola Dominikovic and maybe someone else at Northern Tigers. Of course, there's Alyssa Wyndham and Charlotte Carroll here. And I think, in terms of Kiwis playing in NPL Women's New South Wales and furthering their careers, I mean, all of these young Kiwis trying to follow in the footsteps of Northern Tigers legend Malia Steinmetz. As Carroll delivers, and it's tipped onto the crossbar and over, so it had a bit of bend on it, and Carroll almost opened the scoring from a long way out. Katie Offer denies her. By the way, back to Malia Steinmetz, played for Northern Tigers, cemented her place in the New Zealand national team, played at a home World Cup. Now Malia playing in the Danish top division with FC Nordsjælland. Now, another punch from Katie Offer. That was a punch Katie Taylor would have been proud of. But Spartan's still on the move. Again, and it doesn't stick for Offer. So it's looped up and wide from Janeo Dos Santos. Thanks, Lockie. Kelly Brown at MacArthur Rams. How could I forget Kelly Brown and all the goals she scored last season? Well, if I've forgotten her, I certainly won't be invited to a party at Kelly Brown's anytime soon. Ben will get that reference. I'm not sure anyone else will. Now, Roberts has some synthetic turf in front of her. Off the back of a defender and cleared. Ingsard looking to head it past Ella Buchanan. Kasha. Ella Buchanan and Roberts. Eunice signaling to where she wants it. And the cross instead swings out of play. Actually, I should have mentioned this before now, but one of the other things that I think has been facilitated by these Spirit women's and men's double headers, it's made it easier, especially with the women's games being held 3 p.m. in the winter before it gets too cold. I'm sure you've heard it by now. To our right, the sound from the Spirit youngsters who have a drum and are cheering their first graders. Indiana Dos Santos, outnumbered on the edge of the box, but yeah, I love to see that, and because I've noticed it with the youngsters, it's both, I think they're SAP age, so it's both boys and girls SAP players. Doesn't matter. The first grade is inspiring everyone. As just a reminder that women footballers can inspire young boys as well as young girls. Good run from Osborne. 3 options in the middle. Opts for the cutback. Here's Roberts. And now Eunice lunges, couldn't quite reach it. Abdulmasi. And there's Roberts. Oh no, sorry, that's Ella Buchanan. And it's a thumping header. Spirit have taken the lead. The two Ellas, the two Wanderers players combining. Abdulmasi putting it right onto Buchanan's forehead, and Ella Buchanan has sent Spirit into the lead. with her first goal of the season. Well, the Spirit right back read the play, saw the opportunity to get all the way into the center of the penalty area. She'd escaped the attentions of the Spartans defense, and she has sent that ball crashing into the net for a 1-0 Spirit lead. It's a very nice goal. So my player ID skills confirmed by the ground announcer here at the Arctic Circle, who sounds a lot like Football New South Wales commentator Melissa Muscat, but trust me, is not Melissa Muscat. Because Melissa Muscat doesn't live anywhere near here, so why would it be her? And why would she not tell me that she was a ground announcer at a venue near me? Anyway, but yes. Nice symmetry with assistant goal scorer there. Both played for the Wanderers in A-League Women's, both named Ella. 2 players with a futsal background. Ella Buchanan playing for Mountain Magic Futsal Club over the summer. Ella Abdul-Masi in the past has played for SD Raiders. And those two, by far, definitely not the only 2 players who played in the New South Wales Futsal Premier League. Janeo dos Santos, good tackle from Kaya Buchanan. And now, Morgan. It's Morgan to Morgan there. Sarah Morgan to Morgan Roberts. 2 in the middle. Now near post aiming for Eunice. Duggan sends it over the big net behind the goal to our left. And that is the first. It's the first Spirit corner of the afternoon. And those kids to our right, energized, shall we say, by that Ella Buchanan strike. Now, in fact, we won't go for at least for the time being, because Janeo dos Santos looking a little bit uncomfortable. She's back on her feet, but of course, player welfare is paramount. And so Mia Velarde just holding things up to check on Janeo. There's the whistle. We'll get back underway. Decent corner, and it's over the keeper. I think a head off, possibly Isabel Wilson. And chance for the Spartans to run this out from their own penalty area. Foot in there from Kaya Buchanan, I think. Alfaraje. And then Owen gets away from 2, but the pressure keeps coming for the Spartans. Nice work from Charlotte Carroll. Now, Indiana dos Santos pressing Ella Buchanan. Now, Janeo dos Santos swinging one towards goal and offer. A little bit of a bobble, but no danger there with no Spartans player running in. People near me convinced that was going to be a free kick, but the person whose decision matters said no. By the way, just another shout out, as I can see him to the right of our filming position. Jake Rose, who'll be center referee for the men's game, coming up after this one at 5:30 p.m. between Spirit and Marconi. Eunice fouled by Duggan there. Now, up for grabs on the edge of the box. Buchanan, 1-2 with Roberts. Now, might break for Eunice, and the contact wasn't clean. Almost the last player that Spartans would want a loose ball to fall to on the edge of the box. Shot goes wide. Anna Norton, because now the scoreboard is against them, not hanging around. Spartans want to get on with it. Ingsard winning a throw-in on the scoreboard side of this venue. Now it'll be a Spartans free kick in almost the same spot. The bright sunshine here at the Arctic Circle. And I like thinking of the peripheral things as it relates to football. And, well, the timing not there between Eunice and Roberts, so Anna Norton will take over. This bright sunshine, maximising the exposure for the sponsors who bought banners and spent their hard-earned money to help support Northwest Sydney Spirit. And we love all the local businesses that help support their NPL clubs, whichever ones they choose to sponsor. Roberts with another run. Low cross, Duggan playing it towards Wilson. Now Wynnum couldn't beat the two Spirit players. So Morgan. And the 1-2 there broken up. DeSantos again tasked with more target forward responsibility. And Sard dispossessed. That's a nice ball from Eunice, knowing how fast Roberts was, or is. Cross to the far post, and Norton claims. Indiana DeSantos to Rakaya Alfaraje. Now, just decided to kick it past the defender and run after it. She's also won the free kick. Savannah Murray read that well. Just got a body in the way, made it difficult for Alfaraje. In any case, Erin Pridmore was already around on the cover. Now over the top at Ella Abdelmassi. She's going to try her hardest. Abdelmassi gets the touch. It's gone wide. Credit to Anna Norton. Read the situation, rushed out. Didn't get a touch, but surely she would have at least made Abdelmassi think that contact would be a possibility. As the goalkeeping coaches say, stay big as long as you can. That's what Norton did. End result is a shot off target. Norton going for distance. Finds Dos Santos. Goes back to Corona. Then Ella Buchanan opting for safety. A difficult one with the ball dropping over your head. That's probably the right decision from the player whose goal separates the two teams, as we're now in first half stoppage time. Roberts. Now Kaya Buchanan. Ooh, that could have been a nightmare ball for Kasha, but kept a composure. And she'll win the free kick. No, that's a whistle on the other field. That was not Mia Velarde. As Alfaraje looking for the overlapping run. Murray sends it into the fence. Cross deep, and it's going to be over Ella Buchanan. So Ungsard is here, forced backwards, and then Pridmore to take over for Spirit. Wonder, well, there have been some stoppages, so who knows, there might be a chance for one last shot, although definitely not if Kai Buchanan is just going to send the ball out of play. If Spartans want to trouble Katie off his goal once more before the break, they're going to have to hurry. Nice flick from Wynnum. Kai Buchanan is across for a goal kick. Feel like that might be that. Yep, glance at the watch from the referee. And there it is. The teams will head into the dressing sheds with Spirit leading by a 1-0 over Spartans. The home team didn't let their heads drop after Talia Yunus had a penalty saved brilliantly by Anna Norton. It came in the 37th minute, the goal that separates the two teams. Ella Buchanan with a thumping header off a great cross from Ella Abdulmasi. And that's how we got to where we are. This is Eric Subihano on the mic for the Football News. We hope you stick around for the second half. We'll take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back. Welcome back to the second half of our NPL women's coverage from the Arctic Circle. Round 15. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon. And Spirit leading Spartans by a 0-0, courtesy of a first half header. And what a lovely header it was too from Ella Buchanan. Ella Buchanan's first goal of the 2024 NPL season. So I'm just looking at who's out there. I don't think any substitutions were made during the break by either coach, whether that's Nacho Alcaraz for the Spartans or Tony Candy for Spirit, but things looking pretty sweet for the Spirit coach, obviously because of that goal, which has his team up as we head into the second half. Speaking of, there's the whistle, away we go. 45 more minutes, plus a little bit of time added on. And sure, plenty of more thrilling action in front of us. As Duggan sends it forward, Katie Offer will take over. Yeah, so I've established that Spirit have not made any subs at the interval. Yeah, that's the same for the Spartans. So I might just give a reminder of the two lineups out there when I get the appropriate break in play. But first is Charlotte Carroll, the Spartans captain. Digs it out. It's an interesting ball for Alpha Rajah, and it just spins away from her. She's fast, but wasn't fast enough to keep that in. So, lining up out there for the hosts. Spirit in goal, number 41, Katie Offer. Their back four from left to right. Number 15, Savannah Murray. Number 3, the captain, Erin Pridmore. Number 7, Kai Buchanan. Number 17, Ella Buchanan. 3 in midfield, number 10, Sarah Morgan. Number 18, Natalie Kasha. And number 16, Kayla Osborne. And the 3 up front, number 11, Ella Abdulmasi. Number 8, Talia Yunus. And number 13, Morgan Roberts. Morgan Roberts, Spirit's top scorer with 7 for the season. And she's every chance of making it 8 today. But here's Janeo Dos Santos. Foot in there from Sarah Morgan. And then Kasha finding Osborne. Osborne, but that will have too much weight on it for her teammates. And now the Spartans lineup. In goal, number 1, Anna Norton. The back four from left to right. Number 26, Diana Corona. Number 5 on the ball now, Isabel Wilson. Number 17, Brittany Dugnan. And number 3, Charlotte Owen. In midfield, hold that thought because Rukaya for Alpha Rajah is into the box. And I think she was looking for a passing option. Janeo Dos Santos. Now, hits open here, and it's tipped over by Offer. That's another excellent save to deny Engsad, stopping her from adding to her goal-scoring exploits for this season. The Spartans were patient, didn't pull the trigger just because they found their way into the box. They worked until there was a clear opportunity. Engsad bringing the best out of the Spirit shot stopper. She takes the corner as well. Outswinger, and it's a real crowd here. And, well, it bounces in the 6-yard box, and then Charlotte Carroll, almost turned out to be an inadvertent pass for Alpha Rajah. It's a goal kick. It's not often you see the ball bounce in the corner, also bounce in the 6-yard box off a corner, and then the defending team just actually takes their time to clear it. But Spirit, a little bit of a scare for the home fans. But those in gold jerseys had it under control. Going back to that Spirit lineup, what did I get up to? Oh, the midfield. Number 14, Indiana Dos Santos. Number 12, the captain for today, Charlotte Carroll. And number 16, Alyssa Wynnum. And the 3 up front for Spartans. Number 27, Alyssa Engsad. Number 33, Janeo Dos Santos. And the number 9, Rukaya Alpha Rajah. Good run from Roberts, and she stayed on side. Roberts into the box. What are the options like? And, it's one of those ones now. That's almost a heart attack moment for the visitors. It loops up off, I think, Duggan's knee. Spartans fans thinking, was that going to be an own goal? And it goes behind. Corner coming up. Sarah Morgan signals. It's up, and Eunice was attacking it. Handball, I think, against Pridmore. Again, another reminder of the bench options for both sides. So the Spirit coach, Tony Candy, can choose from Matilda Gilbert, the backup keeper, as well as Madeline Wright, Erin Tavares, Claire Holder, Nikita Fatsari, and Ruby Sullivan. While for Spartans and their coach, Nacha Alcaraz, the backup keepers, Michaela Kent, and the others, Hope Klur, Kitwala Umkali, Angelique Lynch, Michaela Ratos, and Despina Vasiliadis. So now it's a sore one for Erin Pridmore, the captain. They'd hate to lose her. I see what it might be. A ball to the face, possibly a bloody nose. Well, we hope that gets patched up. Obviously, we got to stop play while Pridmore is looked after. I suppose the silver lining here is that Spirit have I'd say a legendary. Spirit have a legendary NPL physio. If you watched Blacktown City, the Blacktown City men's team, a lot over the last 10 years, that beard will look very familiar to you. That is, of course, Shannon Codd, the best beard in Australian sport. A lot of experience in looking after NPL footballers. These days, Shannon looking after the Spirit women's team, and Erin Pridmore certainly in good hands. There's another shout-out coming up as soon as I establish exactly who one of the best women's youth development coaches in Australia, Mel Keith, is talking about. That's good to know Mel Keith is watching. Just off the top of my head, who has Mel Keith coached that has then gone on to A-League Women's? First and foremost, obviously, Darcy Malone from MacArthur Rams. Beth Gordon from MacArthur Rams. Sienna Silvesca from Illawarra Stingrays. Rosie Galea, she's now at Mount Druitt Town Rangers. If she'll text me again. I'm missing quite a few names. Well, as is the shot which is dipping, and Osborne going for goal. Somewhat acute angle. Norton with the good goal sense, seeing that was going wide. Erin Pridmore is patched up. That's looking quite uncomfortable, but she's, as are all centre-backs, quite tough. So she'll power on through to the end of the game, we think. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Mel. I missed so many of your former players. I said Silvesca, Mel, but Peter Trimmers from Central Coast Mariners, both A-League and League One Women's, I think. As that swung in, Eunice misses out, so does Roberts. Engside can play it forward. Oh, yeah, Tegan Bertolicio, Indy Breyer, Maya Lobo, and so on. Yep, there's a reason I call her the best women's development coach in Australia. That's good to see Erin Pridmore's back on. Now, it does appear, at least did it get enough of a look. It appears to have been a bloodied nose. Now, always seems to be the way when someone gets a knock like that, as Norton's got to hurry, and she knees it somewhat forward. Osborne going from range. Norton will claim the ball. It's thinking about Pridmore. When this happens, it always seems, when a player gets a knock like that, it always seems that the first thing they need to do afterwards is head the football. So, being a central defender, there's a pretty high chance of that happening now. Murray, strong with the foot in there. Just looking at that list of players I said, and the many, many other names Mel Keith has messaged to me. I wonder what an A-League women team full of former Mel Keith players would look like. It'll look amazing. Anyway, here's Osborne, who can't keep that in. Decent idea from Roberts to try and find Osborne with the pass. I mean, I think if Mel Keith can give me the name of a goalkeeper who she's coached, I think that's a team that could win. I think we've got enough names to win the A-League Women's Championship. Darcy Malone running things in central midfield, etc., etc. Speaking of Darcy Malone, she's one of the many talented players you can watch tomorrow at 5 p.m. on the Football New South Wales YouTube page when Macarthur Rams travel to Camperdown to take on Sydney University. That game, I believe, will be called by William Constantinidis, one of the best commentators, one of the finest football minds we have in the Football New South Wales commentary team. And as we look at, so think of the visuals for this game, it's very, shall we say, citrusy. The orange jerseys of Spartans and those yellow jerseys of Spirit. As there's going to be a card there for Alyssa Wynnum, first player into the notebook. But yes, so yeah, it's like kind of in that. And yeah, so those orange jerseys and the Spirit jersey is almost the same color as Lemon's. Oh, Abby Lemon. That's a player who's played for both Spirit and Spartans, and she's playing in the other 5 p.m. women's game tomorrow. Emerging Jets versus the University of New South Wales. Abby Lemon now playing for NSW. That's up at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility, and that'll be called by Ashley Borg. Ashley Borg, a very welcome addition to the Football New South Wales commentary team for 2024, as Alpha Raja is going to put Buchanan under pressure. She's very fast, but then Buchanan wins the duel. And then Alpha Raja commits a foul that is as subtle as some of my references. Ella Buchanan taking a little bit of a breather after that one, actually. Just ducking, because we have that Spirit marquee temporarily blocking my view. Yep, Ella, good to see Ella Buchanan's okay. Yes, back on Ashley Borg. He's been doing the Jets games at Lake Macquarie. It's obviously hard for us to find commentators up in the Hunter Valley, because that's not actually Football New South Wales territory. That's Northern New South Wales football territory. It's a long story, but Ashley Borg has really helped us out this season and done a fine job, as then Isabel Wilson absolutely clatters into Talia Younis, and Mia Velarde showing the cheese. So 2 Spartans into the notebook. Talia Borg, sorry, not Talia Borg. I was thinking of Ashley Borg. Talia Younis getting encouragement. She did. Sometimes that's, especially when you're the centre forward, from time to time you will cop hits like that. But Younis is fine to continue. Kai Buchanan, a bit under hit for her teammates. Now, Indiana Dos Santos has Ungsard running ahead of her. And then Morgan. Step over. And then Owen just plays it to safety. Scaffold here. Exposed to wind, as Chester and I are feeling right now. At least it's not that incredibly dodgy scissor lift at Lake Macquarie. I haven't experienced it myself, but I've heard some pretty skin-crawling stories from Pete Pryor, the voice of Central Coast football, when he's gone up there. It's not the most stable apparatus in the world. So Ashley Borg, certainly braver than I. Osborne won the 50-50. Owen, temporary clearance. Now Kasha, I think she wanted the wide option, but everyone had played compressed for the time being. Ella Buchanan finding Morgan. He skips away from Morgan. Indiana Dos Santos to her sister Janea. And then that's, well, oh, there we go. Well, there we go. I'm glad Aaron Pridmore hasn't had to head the ball yet. And approaching the hour mark here. The Arctic Circle, Spirit leading Spartans by a goal to 0. Eric Subihanu here with the commentary from Macquarie Park. Ella Buchanan's goal is what separates the two teams. Off the hip from Isabel Wilson. That's just like football in the old days. If you know, you know. And then long range shot, saved by Anna Norton. Good Lord, Lockie, at least give me something I can say on the air. My goodness. Oh, dear. Anyway. Kayla Osborne. And Isabel Wilson. Oh, no, there wasn't a whistle. It was on the other field. That's so confusing. Well, there hasn't been too many whistles from field 2 that I've heard, so it appears that that Association Youth League under-18 game between Manly Warringah and Northwest Sydney is being played in good spirits. Pun intended. Wynnum tried the trick. Kasha wasn't buying any of that, and now here's the through ball to Roberts. Eunice running through the middle, and Roberts a little bit off balance, and it goes into the big net behind Anna Norton's goal. Now, Alfaraje has stayed down. Alfarage's up, but of course, with the whistle being blown, so the physio could come on, she'll have to be off the field for a little bit. Looks like Alfaraje will be good to continue. Norton contemplating this goal kick. Header from Wilson. And of course, as I continue to be a good company man, Alfaraje coming back onto the field, so Spartans back to the full complement of players. And keep an eye out for the next NPL Women's Team of the Week. Now, there's a game on the public holiday Monday between Illawarra Stingrays and Manly United. Anna Norton takes that into the breadbasket. So maybe Tuesday that'll be released. That's decided on 3-2-1 votes from all 7 NPL women's games for this round. 3-2-1 votes for each game from the media. Always interesting to see who has caught the media's eye the most. The Spirit youngsters continuing to chant for their team. I'd love a second goal. Owen stands it up. Header from Morgan. Another header from Kasha. And Eunice very coolly takes a touch, loops it overhead, and Duggan had to hurry because Osborne was racing towards that. Now Morgan again doesn't keep it in play. Carroll from way out, and it was swerving. Another great save from Katie Offer. Tipping out wide for a corner kick. Carroll doesn't mind having a go from long range with that left foot. Unfortunately, the Kiwi Katie McCabe, that nickname's already taken. I like her style. And there's Pridmore. Again, not needing to use her head. Side foot, and then Eunice completes the clearance. Owen fouls, and not that I would ever encourage that kind of thing, but back to goal. 80 meters away from danger. That foul, preventing any chance of a Spirit counterattack off the Spartan set piece. Not the worst thing in the world there by Charlotte Owen. Again, not that I would encourage infringements of the laws of the game. Certainly not. Morgan curling it. Now Eunice one-on-one with Duggan. There's the run from Osborne. Yet another run. She's been great today, Kayla Osborne. And just with her off-the-ball movement, asking questions of the Spartans' defense. Morgan with the overlap. Eunice finds her with the back heel. Throw in. Now, from memory, unfortunately, the Spirit women's team doesn't have an equivalent of Jared Lum from the Spirit men's team. I think they've got a long throw expert. Although I'd love to be proven wrong, because the more long throws, the better. That's what I say. Ella Buchanan is looking to pick up. He's on the edge of the box looking to pick up any scraps. Stay short. Spirit keep the pressure on with Eunice. He's looking for somebody. That somebody is Pridmore. Kasha. Kasha, 1-2 with Roberts. And then it breaks for Norton. Actually, just a little bit of sigh of relief. I've actually just remembered that with the Monday game, I don't have to do my 3-2-1 votes in a hurry for once. Actually got 2 days to do it. That's great. Normally I'm the last one, and Football New South Wales media manager, the Golden Greek, or the Greek god of Football New South Wales, however you want to refer to him, Mark Stavroulakis, is the one giving me the hurry up. But yeah, we've got to wait until the Monday game between Illawarra and Manly's finished anyway, so I've got plenty of time to think about this for once. Long throw. That's a decent throw. Good to see Spartans have an aspiring young Megan Campbell in their ranks. And now Kasha for Spirit. Osborne. Morgan. Now Indiana Dos Santos. Kasha trying to break things up. Morgan commits the foul. Buchanan Ella with the header, and now she's off again to stop Corona getting a potential crossing opportunity. I want to avoid yelling at kids at every possible opportunity. There is a kid kicking the ball into the scaffold. It's getting very, very annoying. I suppose at least they're not on the scaffold jumping on it, because that would be worse. Wynnum finds Ingsard. Charlotte Owen charging forward, but that's not something Spartans can take advantage of. Offer rolls it out. Buchanan, good turn to get away from Alfarage. Now they work it. So Wilson stopping Osborne, and then Spartans decision going the Spartans' way. It's a decent ball for Janeo Dos Santos. Offer's got to hurry, and again, good command of the penalty area. Now, characteristically loose touch from Kasha, and then she fouls Alfarage. So Isabel Wilson knows what up. I think she's one of the tallest players in the Spartans team. Immediately heading into the middle for this Spartan set piece. And Carroll set to deliver. Katie Offer instructing the two-player wall exactly where to stand. Goes over the wall, and a loose ball picked up by Ingsard. Stands it up. Offer can just watch the ball sail wide. Given how much time I spent talking about Ashley Borg, I think it's only fair that I talk about our other new Maltese friend who's joined the commentary team. That is, of course, the Professor, Melissa Muscat, who's calling the League One Women's Match of the Round tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the synthetic field at the Palace Marconi Stadium, where Marconi Stallions are hosting South Coast Flame. If you want to know what Melissa sounds like, she sounds like the Spirit Women's ground announcer. Very, very coincidentally. She's been doing a great job with League One Women's, has Melissa, this season. Good to see her getting NPL opportunities as well. As Charlotte Owen stands it up. Good header from Pridmore. Wynnum wouldn't drop for her. One-person handball shout. We go on. Roberts trying to find a player in the middle, and Duggan with the right positioning. But then Osborne didn't give up on it. Sarah Morgan now. She's got two options. Threads it through. Morgan Roberts. Did she stay onside? Yes, she did. Flag stays down. Sarah Morgan is down in back play. And we'll see. I'll keep an eye on that as Abdul Masi sends that swinging towards Dan Ullman. Alfarage might want to run with it if she can control it. Great tackle from Ella Buchanan. But then that's a nice tackle from Indiana Dos Santos as well. Alfaraje. Ngsad wants the far post cross. And Alfaraje's committed the foul on Buchanan, yeah. Spirit saw that. And more importantly, so did Mia Velarde. Of course, for Spirit, it's not just a league form that's done well, that's been going well for them in recent times. They're also involved in the greatest cup competition in the world, the Sapphire Cup. And their first game was a success on this ground last month, where they derailed the hopes of Locomotive Cove from Eastern Suburbs Football Association, defeating them by 5-0. So they're through to round 4 of the Sapphire Cup. And on Wednesday, the 19th of June, Northwest Sydney Spirit will host League One Women's outfit St George FC on this ground. Spartans also entered the greatest cup competition in the world, but their hopes were dashed at the first hurdle. Last month, they lost 3-0 at home to RPL Leichhardt. With the goal from the Kiwi Katie McCabe, Charlotte Lancaster, a long-range free kick. That was RP's first goal in that cup game against the Spartans. And then a goal from outrageously talented youngster Zoe Panagopoulos, and the cherry on the Sunday coming from Brindley Gentle. And if for some reason you've memorized dribble team sheets, trust me that it was Zoe Panagopoulos who scored the second goal for Arpia that night against the Spartans. It was not Sofia Konstantinidis. As much as we like Sofia Konstantinidis, being the sister of Will Konstantinidis from the commentary team. Spirit gradually moving the ball up the field. Now Murray. And Murray's, it's hard to see. I'm doing my best for things at the far side of the ground. Murray's committed the infringement. And then it's getting a little bit scrappy, which is, very, very understandable as players begin to tire. By the way, my apologies, I just forgot to mention a sub. I did see her coming on, and then I immediately forgot about it. I'm sorry to number 37, Despina Vasiliadis. Now it'll have to be process of elimination to see who she's replaced. That's going to be too long for any Spirit player. Rukaya. So Despina Vasiliadis has replaced Rukaya Alfaraje. Nacho Alcaraz has reshuffled the pack a little bit. Vasiliadis in central midfield, and Indiana Dos Santos going out to the left wing. For the closing stages, Spirit try to overhaul this 1-goal deficit. Janeo Dos Santos couldn't find Vasiliadis. Osborne. Now Roberts. One option in front of her. That's Eunice. And Eunice, cool as you like. Back to Kasha. Osborne, she's run a lot, so not quite enough juice left in the legs that time for Osborne to keep that in play. You mentioned players with futsal backgrounds earlier, as Ella Buchanan, one said player with a futsal background gets the decision. In fact, going to have a break in play to check on Diana Corona. And Kayla Osborne, a youngster getting her opportunity in the top team for the Spirit after getting similar opportunities over the summer in the Futsal Premier League with Jewel Warriors. And one of the Spirit substitutes, Nikita Fatsari, is also one of her Jewel Warriors teammates. And Jewel Warriors, that's another club Avi Lemon has played for. Off frame, Ngsad getting a well-earned drink as we check on Corona. There's a good position here. We've got a good position here at the Arctic Circle. We're right on top of the technical area. So the subs will happen right in front of us. Of course, this break an opportunity for everyone to get drinks and also potentially for some instructions to be imparted by the coaching staff as the two teams push over the last quarter of an hour. Mia Velarde is about to tell those Marconi substitutes to get off the field. Please, there's a reason it's 3. The first grade kickoffs are 3 and 5:30 p.m. You've got plenty of time to warm up. Come on, lads. Also, I mean, this is not Marconi's fault, but potentially a little bit off-putting for the match officials that Marconi's men's warm-up kits are the same color as what the refs have chosen to wear today. Ella Buchanan gets us back underway. And the cross, not what was intended. And they've also made a sub, so I have the Spartans, so it's Michaela Ratos on at left back to replace Diana Corona. Put in a good shift at left back for the Spartans. Nacho Alcaraz deciding that fresh legs are required. Thank you to that kind spectator for playing ball person there. Buchanan shuts down Wilfred Carroll. Charlotte Wilfred Carroll. Yes. Just in case I didn't say her full name as per dribble earlier. Oh, my favorite full dribble name from last year, St. George City men's right back, Pedro Faria Canja da Silva, as that swung in, and good claim from Norton. She's been excellent today. Couldn't do anything about the goal, which separates these two sides. A fine performance nonetheless from the Spartans custodian, to use one of Justin Davies' favorite words. Wynnum working it to Carroll, and Carroll giving Indiana Dos Santos a big task. She won't reach that ball. Yes, Lockie. From now on, we call her Zoe Panagopoulos. Yes, thanks, mate. Ratos sends that over the fence. Now, we're going to see a sub. Nikita Fatsari has the bib off. About to come on. And looks like she'll replace Ella Abdulmasi, the player who set up the only goal of the game with a brilliant cross, which Ella Buchanan headed into the net. Good shift from Abdulmasi. She gets a little bit of an early mark. Header from Kai Buchanan. Eunice gets the head to it. Up from Duggan. Morgan's has had the most initiative there. And good skill from Eunice. Riding the challenge from Carroll. Holding it up for Ella Buchanan. Decent cross, but it's too high for Morgan. And Anna Norton gathers. Morgan read that distribution from the keeper well. And forces the ball out of play. Murray left on the synthetic turf as it goes back to Pridmore. Sure, she'll be pleased by the lack of headers she's had to do since getting that bloodied nose. Osborne finding the pocket of space again. And Osborne just kept it away from two Spartans, then fouled the third Spartan. As we look ahead to games coming up, actually, just in case you don't hear me go through. Oh, great to see Jaden Smith, sportscast camera operator. He's in position for the second game because Chester is off to Landon Stadium for the men's game between Hills United and Central Coast Mariners. Yes. So if you choose to stick around for the men's game between Spirit and Marconi after this at 5:30, well, you're in great hands with Will Gotsis on the commentary and Jaden on the camera. And if for some reason if you want to watch that men's game between Hills and Central Coast Mariners, called by Dominic Crenidi, talented young media personality, done a lot of writing and is now making his way into our commentary team as well. If you're watching Hills versus Central Coast Mariners and you hear a familiar voice on the PA, yeah, that'll be me, because I've been asked to do the I've been asked to do the ground announcing for Hills versus Central Coast this evening. Sorry. But yes, big fan of Hills United. Happy to do anything for the club that Sarah Easthope plays for. Nice touch from Wynnum. Carroll had the pass broken up by Kai Buchanan. Kasha couldn't thread it through. Carroll again. Now Indiana Dos Santos. And Ella Buchanan with shepherding that any central defender would be proud of. Goal kick. This might run through upcoming Sapphire Cup games, although the next one isn't until Wednesday the 19th of June. We already know one quarter-finalist, Sydney University, defeated Manly United by 2-0 on Wednesday, as Osborne has to look over the shoulder, and it's followed by the flag from Ella McGarity, assistant nearest to us. But yes, there was also a washout. It tells you about the weather we've had the past week. The cup game between Northern Tigers and Banksia Tigers scheduled for the synthetic surface at North Turramurra, and that was washed out anyway. Games on synthetic have been getting washed out in the past week. That's how much rain we've had. Anyway, upcoming Sapphire Cup games. Wednesday, the 19th of June. Coogee United from Eastern Suburbs FA, hosting South Coast Flame from League One Women's. There's also a match that caters to my very specific interests. Seaforth from Manly Warringah FA and winner of the last two Women's Champion of Champions titles, hosting Hills United, the League One Women's leaders of the second tier in New South Wales. Then Wednesday, the 19th of June, I've already mentioned Spirit versus St George FC here. And also, shout out to RPL Leichhardt for getting the short straw in the Sapphire Cup. They've got Shell Harbour away on a Wednesday night and an 8 p.m. kickoff at Mayimba Park. The other game we know about so far, Wednesday the 26th of June. You might call that the Stephen Peters plate. MacArthur Rams coach Stephen Peters up against one of his former clubs, Gladesville Ravens. That's here at the Arctic Circle. An 8 p.m. kickoff on a Wednesday night at the Arctic Circle. Ouch. Roberts exchanging passes with Osborne, and Roberts couldn't keep it in play. Yeah. Time for some deep breaths. We're into the final 10 minutes of regulation. One final push. Can Spartans find an equalizer? Can Spirit get the second goal that would make them breathe a little bit easier? Also, keep an eye out for when that Northern Tigers versus Banksia Tigers Cup game is rescheduled. And also, we're still awaiting details of the game between Sydney Olympic from NPL and SD Raiders from League One. Eunice, that ball bounced behind her. So Wilson opts for the back pass. Norton, not phased by the pressure from Fatzari. And there's room now for Charlotte Owen. Katie Offer imploring her defenders to stay focused because the job's almost done, but almost doesn't get you 3 points. Back to Norton it goes. Diagonal pass. And a good touch from Michaela Ratos. But then, difficult one. Tale Eunice putting the pressure on Isabel Wilson. She's got to be careful. She's on a yellow card. Ella Buchanan. Morgan. Back to Buchanan. Roberts. Kasha. Eunice is definitely onside, and she'll get into the box here. She's got options as well. Here's Eunice. And Fatzari. Inches away. Agonizing stuff for Spirit, who are so close to a second goal. The score stays at 1-0. And those kids playing with the ball near us, we love it. When kids play, they've got to be a bit more precise with their touches and passes because second ball nearly went onto the playing surface. Going to see another substitute coming up for Spirit. I think that's Erin. Good. They've got the numbers the numbers and names on the back of their jerseys. Ruby Sullivan's about to come on for Spirit. Offer. It's we're definitely in game management phase, at least if you're of a spirit persuasion. And Offa waiting until she's pressed before picking up the ball, running down a few more seconds. Buchanan. That's a good tackle from Indiana Dos Santos. Ella Buchanan inches forward, and Mia Velades had enough of that. Telling her where the throw-in should be taken from. Decent distance. Nice flick from Eunice as well. Here's Roberts. Fatsari's already charging towards the middle. There's the cutback. Which works out for the Spartans. Carroll towards her fellow Kiwi. Wynnum, but Kai Buchanan steps in well. Kasha loses out. And Carroll gets on with it. Of course, can't be offside with a throw. Janeo Dos Santos knew that. Kai Buchanan followed her all the way, though. And Pridmore clears. Good header from Wilson. Now that's going to be a Spartans free kick. And now, if the visitors aren't at kitchen sink time, they're pretty close to it. Just briefly, as we look ahead, the game's coming up for both these teams. Yes. Sunday, 16th of May, 5 p.m. Spirit travelling away to Camperdown to face Sydney University. Well, the Spartans, they're at home in 8 days' time to face the Jets. Decent free kick. It's dipping, but not in time from Indiana Dos Santos. It lands on the roof of Katie Offa's net. And it's the opportunity for a second Spirit substitution. Youngster for youngster, Ruby Sullivan replaces Kayla Osborne. She's had a very good game in the midfield. Lots of running. She's been very good, has Kayla Osborne, at identifying the space to run into to provide options for ball carriers. And Osborne getting a well-earned rest. There's Murray. And Fatsari will settle for the throw. And Murray towards Eunice. A little bit of head tennis. Oh, well, not juggling with the head, not head tennis. Now Duggan under pressure from Fatsari. And Carroll. It's going to bounce for Offa. I see Katie Offa could have run down a few more seconds there, as keepers like to do when their team's leading by a goal to nil. Catch the ball and then just fall over very slowly. Anyway, Janeo Dos Santos. You know who would have done that? In-swinging cross there, headed by Murray, and on the edge of the box, Vasiliadis, who shoots and scoops it wide. You know who would catch a ball and then fall over slowly in this game situation? Former Spirit and Spartans goalkeeper Sarah Easthope. As I attempt very clumsily to segue that back to upcoming streams. Next weekend, Sunday the 16th of June, I'll be on the mic for the League One Women's game, the League One Women's Match of the Round at Harry Denning between Sutherland Strikers and their new superstar signing Tori Toomuth. Sutherland Strikers facing Hills United, captained by the aforementioned Easthope. I'm not ashamed to say I begged Mark Stavroulakis to call that game, and I'm glad he agreed. And if you've known me for any length of time, you'll know exactly why I begged for such a game. Nice play down the far side as the orange jerseys scramble back. Morgan joins the attack. Eunice. Eunice delivers to the far post. Well, won't get to the far post. Goal kick. So many good players out there today. So many good performances. We love to see that. I'm glad I got 2 days to think of my 3-2-1 votes. This is going to be tricky. Yeah. Norton opting for possession from the goal kick, but we're almost in stoppage time. Spartans definitely have to hurry as Murray plays it forward, and might be a chance here for Spirit. Long range shot. It's wide from Eunice. Even so, it does run down just a few more seconds. Oh, well, yes, one more thing. That aforementioned Southern Strikers versus Hills United game, the League One Women's Match of the Round next weekend, Sunday 16th June at 3:30 p.m. Southern Strikers making some big moves recently. We've also signed Lucy Johnson. Chantel Symes is back after playing college soccer in the States. And the Strikers have had some positive recent results, but facing the toughest test in League One Women's, Hills United, league leaders with the league's singiest defence. Sullivan does well. People at Spirit say she's a real gem of a player, and she's played that off Janaea Dos Santos for the goal kick, as Ella Buchanan needs some treatment. So, best beard in Australian sport, Shannon Codd, on one more time to administer some treatment. Of course, that'll increase the amount of time added on. We've already had a minute of that. And one of my niche fascinations of football, the time-wasting substitute. Well, Spirit are about to line one of those up with Erin Tavares, who's about to come on, get a run of a couple of minutes in first grade. The Spirit assistant has the tablet out. About to give Tavares some last-minute instructions, I think. I mean, I suspect if there's anything at all wrong with Ella Buchanan, they'll just make a straight swap. Tavares will come on for the number 17. That's good. Spirit have the tablets on the bench for their last-minute instructions. But, you know, the good old laminated, the folder full of laminated sheets, that's still very common. Okay, well, yep, that's right. Ella Buchanan will take no more part in this game, but she's been brilliant today. Continuing on from her performances last year for Spirit, which eventually earned her that A-League Women deal with Western Sydney Wanderers. Tavares is on. She's gone into midfield. Ruby Sullivan is at right back. And Tavares gets a touch of the ball. Kasha. Now Indiana Dos Santos. Across to Alyssa Ngsad. So Fatzari slowing the move down. They work it to Charlotte Owen anyway. Carroll exchanges passes with Indiana Dos Santos. Janaea Dos Santos going as fast as she can, but Kai Buchanan, great use of the body. That runs down a few more seconds for the hosts. Indiana Dos Santos waited for the run and found Ratos. The cross goes straight to Offa. And the floodlights definitely on now. The sun has set here at Macquarie Park, and the sun is almost set on Spartans' chances of getting a result from this game. As the Melissa Muscat sound-alike that does the ground announcing for Spirit Women's games gives an announcement. I had to listen because I just had to make sure that wasn't my car. It's not, thankfully. As there's the whistle. And Spirit continue their excellent run. That'll please Tony Candy. Tonight's scoreline may be tomorrow's headlines because they defeated Spartans by 1-0. A goal after 37 minutes from Ella Buchanan off a great assist from Ella Abdulmasi has given Spirit a 1-0 win and their 4th win in their last 5 games. Their final hopes are well and truly alive with 11 rounds to go. For a case of the Spartans, it's picking themselves up and dusting themselves off before their game in 8 days' time against Emerging Jets at Blacktown Football Park. While for Spirit, they can look forward to a game on Sunday the 16th away at Sydney University before on Wednesday the 19th of June. It's a midweek Sapphire Cup game against St George FC on this ground. We hope you stick around on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Coming up tonight, 5:30 p.m, the men's game here at the Arctic Circle between Spirit and Marconi, called by Will the Adonis Gotsis. And at 7 p.m, from Landon Stadium, Hills United versus Central Coast Mariners, called by Dominic Creniti. They let him do something somewhere other than Adensa Park for once. How about that? But anyway, this is Eric Subihano signing off from the Arctic Circle. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the NPL women's season. Take care, have plenty of great coffee, good vibes, sick tattoos, razzlers, and may your team defend well when they need it most. See you next time.